Picture this. Your bag's on the table, your flight's boarding, and your stuff's getting scanned like it's radioactive. This isn't just about packing right, it's about packing smart. One wrong item, wrong shape, wrong signal. And suddenly, you're the reason the line's moving slow. That's why you can't afford to show up like an idiot and pack everything in your carry-on. 1. The big problem.
Here's where things start to get messy. You'd think there's one clear rule for what counts as a carry-on, right?
Here's where most people screw up before they even get to security. They assume carry-on rules are universal. Logical, right? A bag's a bag. Inches are inches. But the airline world isn't built on logic. It's built on loopholes, hidden fees, and fine print so vague it practically mocks you. One airline will let you stroll in with a roller, a backpack, and a coffee in hand. Another airline, usually the one with a $39 ticket, acts like your laptop case is a luxury item that needs its own boarding pass. Technically, yes, many airlines list 22x 14x 9 inches as their carry-on limit, but here's the catch. That number includes wheels, handles, and your hopes of avoiding baggage fees. Go even half an inch over, and suddenly your suitcase gets flagged like it's smuggling secrets. But even if your bag plays by the rules, the online rules, the website rules, the gate is a different beast. You know that metal sizer bin near the boarding area? It's smaller than advertised, on purpose. Because if your bag doesn't slide in with the grace of a hot knife through butter, guess what? You're paying. And it's not a small fee. It's an annoyed last-minute gate-side penalty that feels less like a policy and more like punishment. Let's say you survive that part. Your bag passed the measurement game, and now you're face-to-face with TSA. A different kind of chaos entirely. TSA doesn't care how stylish, minimal, or lightweight your setup is. They care about one thing: how fast they can get your stuff through the scanner without having to stop and ask you questions. And that brings us to the eternal buzzkill of travel, the liquid rule. Yeah, it's still a thing. That 3-1-1 formula you thought only applied back in 2006? Still a rule. 3.4 ounces per container, 1 quart-size zip bag, 1 per traveler. Doesn't matter if it's fancy hand cream, organic almond butter, or an overpriced facial mist. If it spreads, smears, squirts, or oozes, it counts. TSA will happily toss it in the trash with a straight face, even if it's brand new and sealed. They don't negotiate. And the worst part? It's not about weight. It's not about the product. It's about the label. If it says 4 Oz on the side, even if only half of it's full, you're done. You can either leave it behind or check your bag, and checking means risking delays, fees, and possible reunions with your luggage 3 states away. So, no, carry-on travel isn't just about keeping it light. It's about navigating 2 completely different systems that rarely align. One punishes you for size, the other punishes you for the contents. And the only real way to survive both is to know the games, bend before they break you, and pack like someone's going to judge every zipper, bottle, and side pocket. Because they will. 2. Cracking the TSA code.
Most travelers treat TSA like a mysterious riddle. Can I bring this? Will this get me flagged? Should I just leave everything and hope for the best?
Most travelers treat TSA like a confusing riddle. Can I bring this? Will this get flagged? Should I just leave everything and hope for the best? But once you understand the actual logic behind their rules, things get easier, and you'll be surprised at what is allowed. Let's talk liquids first. Everyone knows the 3.4 ounce rule, but not everyone knows the exceptions. Infant needs, baby formula, breast milk, and food for infants are allowed in larger quantities. Bonus, you don't have to be traveling with a baby, just declare it at the start. You can also bring gel ice packs to keep those items cool. Medical supplies, prescription meds, EpiPens, liquid medications over 3.4 ounces, all fine. Just inform the agent. They might run a quick swab, but your medication stays with you. Inhalers, medicated creams, insulin, gel-based ice packs. Also, okay, now here's where the TSA surprises you. Some items that seem weirdly suspicious, totally allowed. Harry Potter wands? Welcome aboard, wizard. Bowling balls? Roll away. Cowboy spurs? No problem, partner. Mini espresso machine, as long as it fits in your bag. Even lighters, yes, lighters, are allowed. You can bring up to 2 even with fuel. High-tech arc lighters with lithium batteries? Also okay, as long as they're turned off. But here's the truly wild part. You can bring a live fish in water through the TSA. Just keep it in a spill-proof clear container. Too much mystery liquid. Welcome to the TSA logic loop. 3. Items that always get you pulled.
All right, so you followed the rules. You measured your bag, you triple-checked your liquids, you even packed your snacks in little Ziplocs like a good traveler. And still, you're the one getting pulled aside.
Even if you've double-checked everything and feel like a travel ninja, bag sized perfectly, liquids under control, snacks tucked neatly in Ziplocs, you might still end up standing awkwardly to the side of the TSA screening lane, barefoot, with your bag getting swabbed while other passengers glide past. It's not always about what you did wrong, it's about what they think you might have done wrong. And that's the real game here. Interpretation over intention. What throws travelers off isn't always what you'd expect. Sure, you've heard of no liquids over 3.4 ounces, but did you realize your peanut butter sandwich might trigger a bag search? That's because peanut butter is a spread. Spreads are gels, and gels count as liquids. It sounds absurd until you're watching your TSA agent drop your Jif jar into the trash like it's a weaponized substance. Now imagine that same rule applied across a dozen ordinary items. Hummus, liquid, salsa, liquid. Greek yogurt in a squeeze pouch, liquid. None of it looks like water, but all of it will cost you time, questions, and maybe even a missed flight. You'd be surprised how many people end up negotiating the nature of cream cheese at the checkpoint, trying to prove it's solid enough. Spoiler, it doesn't work. And it doesn't stop at food. Makeup's another landmine. That little jar of face cream, that mascara tube, that lip gloss you forgot at the bottom of your tote, all under suspicion. Some agents wave it through, others don't. Snow globes? Not a chance. It's not about the glass, it's about the mystery liquid swirling inside, which apparently can't be trusted at 30,000 feet. Then there's what we'll call the accidental hardware store problem. You tossed in your multi-tool because it's handy. You forgot about the tiny screwdriver buried in your bag from last week's furniture assembly. That pocket knife you meant to check, still in your backpack. The TSA doesn't care if it's sentimental or unopened. A wrench is a wrench. A blade is a blade. If it looks like it can unscrew or stab something, it's going nowhere near a plane. And if it's shaped like a weapon, even if it's just a lighter that looks like a miniature gun, that's a guaranteed scene. Every year someone tries. Every year someone gets escorted out. You don't want to be the story other passengers talk about later. But maybe the most confusing thing of all, you might have brought the exact same item last year. Same airport, same terminal, same bag, and no one batted an eye. But this time, it's confiscated without question. Why? Because TSA enforcement lives in the gray area. Rules evolve, interpretations vary, and ultimately it comes down to who's at the screening belt, how rushed the line is, or what kind of day they're having. That inconsistency is the most frustrating part and the most human. It's not about fear, it's about flexibility. The smartest travelers don't just pack by the book, they think 2 steps ahead. They leave wiggle room for rule shifts, mood swings, and misinterpretations. They ask themselves, could this be a problem today? If the answer's even maybe, it stays home. Now let's get serious. Here's what you absolutely cannot bring in your carry-on. No exceptions, no, but I didn't know. Excuses, weapons, yes. People still try. In 2023 alone, TSA found over 6,700 firearms in carry-ons. Not just real guns, replica firearms, BB guns, airsoft guns, stun guns, tactical batons. Anything that looks like Batman might use it. Also banned ammunition. Even a single bullet is a no-go. And yes, people forget them. All the time. Razor blades, box cutters, and detachable blades, also banned. Disposable razors are usually fine, but if the blade detaches, it's not flying. Full-size aerosol cans, hairspray, deodorant, or any pressurized container are also banned. Magic 8 balls? Nope. TSA even jokes on their website. We asked the Magic 8 ball, and it said, outlook not so good. Toy swords? Still a no. Even foam ones. Realistic toy guns? Also banned. Pocket knives? Doesn't matter how small. It's a hard no. Bear spray, 100% banned, and not even always allowed in checked luggage. Golden rule: if it could poke, spray, confuse, or make a TSA agent pause and say, "What the heck is that?" it probably doesn't belong in your carry-on. 4. Customs, chaos, and carry-ons.
Flying domestically within the US and flying internationally are two very different games, especially when it comes to what's allowed in your carry-on.
The second you step outside your home country, the game changes. That sleek carry-on you've used 100 times domestically might not even make it past the check-in counter overseas. Let's talk about bag weight. In the US, most airlines don't care how heavy your carry-on is. As long as you can lift it overhead, you're good. But outside the States, airlines turn into strict gym teachers, especially in Europe and Asia, where carry-ons often have a hard limit of 15 pounds. Yes, 15. And they will weigh it. Not just the bag, your personal item too. That rolling laptop bag you thought was harmless, add it to the scale. And it's not just the weight, dimensions matter more abroad. A few centimeters over the limit and they'll force you to check it. Cue extra fees and the death stare from the gate agent. Now, liquids. TSA's 311 rule, 3.4 oz liquids in a quart-sized bag, is standard for outbound US flights. But land in another country and all bets are off. Some international airports demand you separate all liquids and electronics, even if they're neatly packed. Others want your items in clear plastic bags they provide. Some don't allow liquids at all in transit zones. It's not just inconvenient, it's chaos if you're not prepared. And then there's the banned item roulette. The US says scissors under 4 inches are fine. Try that in Tokyo or Frankfurt, confiscated. Some countries don't even allow battery packs in carry-ons. Others flag nail clippers. It's inconsistent, and there's no universal standard. If your gear looks remotely suspicious, even if it's allowed back home, expect problems. Let's move on to food, the secret threat to your wallet. That protein bar you tossed in at JFK? No big deal. But that same bar when you land in Sydney could cost you $250. Australia and New Zealand are ruthless when it comes to biosecurity. Customs officers will go through your bags like bloodhounds sniffing for jerky and fruit leather. They don't care if it's sealed or store-bought. If it once grew, mooed, or was baked by someone's sweet old grandma, it's a potential biohazard. Beef jerky, dried mango, homemade cookies, trail mix. Declare everything, or just don't bring it. Because if they catch you with something unlisted, it's not a friendly warning. It will result in a fine. And a permanent note on your traveler record: some countries will inspect you harder on every future visit because of one rogue banana. Bottom line, check customs rules before you fly. Every country has a site listing banned or restricted items. Use it. Or prepare to have your bag flipped inside out by someone wearing blue gloves. And let's say you clear customs. Congrats. You still have to survive security screenings, and those can be wildly inconsistent across borders. Start with liquids. Keep your quart-sized bag accessible. Top pocket of your backpack, front flap of your suitcase, whatever. Don't bury it under 3 sweaters and a laptop. If they have to dig, you'll get that look. And possibly a pat-down. Electronics? Treat them like royalty. Laptops, cameras, handheld consoles, and tablets often need to go into separate trays. Some airports want every device visible, even chargers or external drives. Assume the worst at major hubs like Heathrow, CDG, LAX, or Dubai. They've seen it all, and they don't have time for your nesting doll packing system. Shoes? Go easy. Ditch the lace-up boots or high tops. If you're not in pre-check or a similar fast-track program, you'll probably be asked to remove them, along with belts, watches, and hoodies. Nobody enjoys walking barefoot through a security line, but being that one person holding everyone up? Worse, valuables. Don't just toss your phone, passport, AirPods, and wallet into a loose bin. One bump and you're chasing electronics down the conveyor belt like a raccoon in an airport. Use a zippered pouch. Drop that pouch in the bin. If something gets flagged, it's all in one place. Efficient, secure. The goal here isn't speed, it's flow. Move like water, not like a chaotic avalanche of cords and crumpled receipts. Now, let's say you didn't get the memo. You pack something banned or weird or borderline. Here's what happens next. TSA, or their international equivalent, pulls your bag aside. You wait while they unzip it with surgical precision. And then, you get 3 options: toss it, check it. Only if your flight hasn't closed boarding. Leave it and walk away. If it's something minor, like too much liquid or a forgotten souvenir, they'll just trash it. But for bigger violations, things escalate. Fast. Weapons, replicas, tools, or anything sharp. That's not just a toss it and go. You're signing paperwork. You might get fined. In serious cases, airport police get involved. Civil penalties for TSA or customs violations can climb into the thousands. Yes, thousands. And you don't get the item back. Ever. Confiscated items become federal property. Some are destroyed, some are donated, and some, they get sold. There's a thriving online market where TSA auctions off seized items, from high-end knives to novelty snow globes. So yes, your $200 Swiss Army knife might now be someone's $12 eBay find. TSA doesn't care if it's sentimental, or rare, or if you got it on your honeymoon. If it's on the banned list, it's not flying. And arguing, it makes it worse. You'll just land yourself in a back room with a clipboard-wielding supervisor who has no sympathy and all the authority. So here's the real checklist. Pack with intention, not assumption. And when in doubt, leave it out. Because a smooth international trip starts with what's in your bag and what you had the sense not to put in there. 5. How to outsmart airport security.
Here's how bad. If TSA catches something they don't like in your bag, whether it's a big bottle of lotion, a rogue blade, or your trusty bear spray from that hiking trip, you've got 3 options. Toss it, check it, or walk away.
You want to get through TSA without drama? You don't need luck. You need discipline. That's it. Real travel pros don't wing it at the checkpoint. They run a system. A quiet, efficient system that avoids attention, avoids delays, and avoids giving anyone a reason to pause and look twice. Forget the smiling influencer dragging their pastel carry-on through security like it's a photo shoot. That's not who makes it through fastest. It's the guy who looks boring, the woman who moves with purpose. No nerves, no fidgeting, no fumbling. They're not flashy, they're efficient. TSA barely notices them. That's the goal. Because here's the truth, no one likes to say out loud. You don't get flagged for what you carry, you get flagged for how you act. If you hesitate, act surprised, or look unsure of what's expected, you just became interesting. And at a TSA checkpoint, interesting is the worst thing you can be. Interesting people get searched, they get pulled aside, they lose time, and often they lose their cool, which makes everything worse. So, how do you stay invisible? Start by knowing the system better than it knows you. Learn the rhythm, then match it. The line isn't just a line, it's a pressure cooker. Every traveler ahead of you is a moving timer, and your job is to keep the chain unbroken. If you start digging through your backpack while already at the conveyor belt, you're late. And TSA knows it. They can see who's ready and who's about to slow the machine. You want to win this game? Be ready before it's your turn. Shoes, off, electronics, out, jacket, gone, boarding pass, not in your bag, not on your screensaver, on your screen, lit, bright, obvious. No one cares how fast you run to your gate if you crawl through security like you've never flown before. Behavior is everything. TSA isn't psychic, but they're trained to notice patterns, and especially breaks in those patterns. If you're sweating, shifting, or avoiding eye contact, you're telling a story, one you might not mean to tell. Maybe you're just anxious, doesn't matter. You've made yourself a puzzle, and puzzles get extra screening. Your move? Strip the emotion out. You're not excited. You're not nervous. You're not even there. You're just another quiet, boring passenger moving through the system like clockwork. That's what makes you fly past without friction. Confidence is the best camouflage. This doesn't mean being arrogant. It means acting like someone who has done this before, even if you haven't. Travel confidence is subtle. It shows small things, like knowing where the bins are, not asking where to go, and not acting shocked when they ask you to remove your watch. And if something does go wrong, don't spiral, don't argue, don't start defending your every move like you're on trial. The smarter move is to be cooperative, not submissive, not defensive, just steady. TSA isn't looking for your apology. They're looking for someone who isn't a problem. Be that person. Read the room, every room. If pre-check is empty and regular is jammed, shift. If the agent at lane 2 looks tired and checked out, go to lane 1 where the officer looks focused but fast. These details matter. Most people don't notice. You should. Also, the line is full of lessons. Watch people ahead of you. Someone gets stopped, figure out why. Someone breezes through, track what they did. This isn't just security, it's performance. And you're rehearsing every second you stand in line. Be forgettable. The best compliment you can get from the TSA is silence. No questions, no glances, no double takes. Just a bin, a beep, and you're through. That's art. Not being clever, not being bold. Just being someone they forget 2 seconds after you walk off. That's not paranoia, that's precision. You're not special. Here, the airport isn't your house. The checkpoint isn't your stage. This isn't the time to challenge authority, crack jokes, or ask why the rules don't make sense. Play by the book and you'll leave on time. Act like you're above it and you'll miss your gate arguing about something that won't change.